Hello everyone, congrats on finishing your essay. Most of you turned that in yesterday, and I will begin to work through grading and entering all of those. The ones I have read so far, I am impressed. You guys did an awesome job writing that essay, a new type of essay without me, basically, so I'm impressed. Thank you. If that is not turned in, please get it turned in as soon as possible. That is going to impact your grade a ton if you do not do it. This video is going to be longer. I know some of you just watch the beginning and then stop watching, but please watch this whole video. We are starting a new unit today. We're going to start the book, The House of the Scorpion. We're going to do this for the entire rest of the year. So no matter what happens, if we go back to school or not, this is what we are going to end the year on. So really all we have left, just so you know, is we're going to read the book slowly, do a reading guide, take some reading quizzes, and then we'll do a little project at the end. So I'm starting here on the calendar, as you can see. Again, I know this looks like a lot, but don't panic. So depending on if you are in first or second hour or seventh hours, depending on when you will do your classwork and see this, and I've taken that into account, so read carefully. So the first thing you're going to do today is you are going to watch this video, the whole thing. The introduction presentation is something you're going to want to view next. I'll show you where to see that, and I'm actually going to go through that with you in this video. You will read pages 1 through 49 of the book, and those are not due till like our next class day. So if you're in first or second hour, you just need to read those pages by Thursday. And if you are in seventh hour, you need to read pages 1 through 49 by Friday. So you have more time than normally to read the same amount of pages. Then you will add some notes to the reading guide, which I'll show you in a second. That reading guide is not due for an entire month. It is not due till May 20th, but just like on the essay and just like I always do with reading guides, there are going to be progress checks. So the first one is going to be next Friday. So next Thursday for first and second hour, next Friday for seventh hour. So at the end of the week, next week, I will check to make sure you are caught up. So I highly recommend you do that as you're reading, or like once you finish a section, add some notes quick, but just make sure it is done by the due date. But yeah, everything is here. I even filled out this entire calendar for you for 2 weeks. So feel free to work ahead a little bit. I know some of you have already started reading the book even. That's awesome. You just made your life a lot easier. Maybe some of you are even done with the book. If you do not have The House of the Scorpion, you need to send me an email right now, today, the second you're done with this video, as soon as possible. I did my best to make sure everyone had the book. I even called some of your parents way back when we were in school and had them come pick it up. So I think everyone has it, but if you don't have it, let me know today. All right, so you're going to go back to the homepage. You will click on our new week's folder, so April 20th through April 24th, and there's a lot of things here which I'm going to go through. The introduction presentation, I'm going to go through this in its entirety in just a minute. But just so you guys know what else is in the folder for this week, our reading guide is here. So it's like an online reading guide. I know I gave you that yellow packet way back when, but I want you to use this online version. It's just like the essay organizer and the essay document. Again, I will go through the reading guide in a second. There's a blank copy of the reading guide. You are only allowed to use this. Make a copy and share it with me if this doesn't work. First, you have to email me and tell me your reading guide didn't work. Then I'm going to check to make sure it really doesn't work. And then you can make a copy and share it with me, but I really want everyone to use the actual Schoology assignment. You'll notice too, then you do have a quiz on pages 1 through 49. If you check the calendar again, you don't have to take this until Thursday or Friday. Feel free to take it early, but let's go through this introduction presentation. If it loads. Okay, here we go. So just to review and introduce some expectations for this short unit. The reading schedule. Please disregard, obviously, that bookmark you got way back when. The reading schedule is here. Please check the calendar daily for when pages are due. I have it laid out for the first 2 weeks, and then some things are to be determined just because of so many up in the air things with school. But your first 49 or 50 or so pages of the book are due this Thursday or Friday, depending on what class hour you are in. So as you have been doing already, check the calendar. So your reading guide. We're going to go through this here. Your reading guide, I know we talked about this when we were in school, but your reading guide is broken up by sections of the book. So if you look over here, The first page of the reading guide correlates with the first 50 pages of the book. The first section of the book is called Youth 0 to 60. Then the book is in this section called Middle Age 7 to 11. The second page of the reading guide is for all of the book pages 52 to 143. So you have 2 reading due dates, and that's in those 2 reading due dates, all that information you can add to the second page of the reading guide, and the reading guide is labeled and highlighted, so you should be able to figure this out. The next section of the book will be broken up into 2 reading due dates. So that's the second or the third page of the reading guide. And then this whole entire section here, that is what you're going to put on the last page of the reading guide. So you'll have tons of stuff to put in the last section of the reading guide. The reading guide only has 4 sections, but I've broken up the pages in the book into 8 reading due dates. If you're confused, just look at the calendar. All right, the reading guide though. So you need to put page numbers on your reading guide. You've been doing that for the past 4 books. So you'll just tell me what happened, and then you'll put the page number that happened on. The first section of the reading guide is all about the main character, Matt. It's about his traits, goals, conflicts, and decisions made. You just have to find one thing for each of these. One trait he has, one conflict, one change, etc. The next section of the reading guide is called Community and Society and Social Levels. You need to find 3 things for this section with page numbers. And this just means how society is structured, who has power, how are people on the bottom treated, is it possible to gain power, etc. The next section of the reading guide is called Community and Society, Use of Power Strengthens. You need to find 3 things there. That's just someone using power for good. So someone who has power using it to help or do something good. The next section then is the complete opposite. Power corrupts. Someone who has power using it to hurt or harm or do bad. Then there are 2 themes. So for controlling one's fate, do characters control their own fate? Who is in charge? 3 things for that part of the reading guide. And then your second theme, what it means to be human. Remember, we talked about this, but Matt is a clone. So what does it mean to be human? How are clones treated? How are humans treated? What really makes people human? Reading guides will be checked periodically. I've already talked about that. Just please check the calendar. The calendar here is your best friend in this unit. This unit is super simple and repetitive. You read pages, you add notes to your reading guide, you take a reading quiz, repeat. But it can get a little confusing at the beginning, so just please check the calendar. Your reading quizzes, which I've talked about a couple times, you will have reading quizzes every section of book pages that are due. This will be 5-ish short answer questions. So I've written about 20 questions per section, and then you will randomly, the computer will randomly generate 5 questions for you. So it's just 5 short answer questions. The nice thing about that is you can fully explain yourself. And also, this seems obvious, but you should all get 5 out of 5 on these short answer quizzes because you have the book. It's an open book quiz, right? So if you don't know the answer to a quiz when you're taking the quiz, flip through your book and find the answer. That seems obvious, but that's not cheating. That's using your resources. Use your book. What else? So just to review, again, I know this is confusing. Please let me know if you have questions, but here are the steps you will take. Step 1, you will always check the calendar. Step 2, you will read the pages in the book that you have to by the date that it says on the calendar. Step 3, you will add notes to your online reading guide, which I will show you in a second. And then step 4, when appropriate and when you need to, you will take your reading quizzes. All right, let's go back to that folder. And let's really quickly look at the reading guide. So I'm just going to click on this blank reading guide just so then you guys can see it on this video. Remember, you can only use this if you checked with me and your reading guide Schoology assignment won't work. But this is what your reading guide looks like. So each section of the reading guide is broken up here. It's highlighted in yellow. So for example, this page of the reading guide is for book pages 1 through 49. You will add things with page numbers. So for traits, you'll type it in here and put a page number and so forth. For the ones that you need 3, I've put 3 bullet points. It does go onto the back side for the rest of the sections. And then you'll go to the next. So then the next page of the reading guide is for pages 52 to 143 in the book. You'll add bullet points here with page numbers, etc. And then you will go to the next section of the book and so forth. So please just make sure you're following along with what's highlighted here in green. But this is nothing different than what we've been doing all year. The only difference is this one is online. So just please do that carefully and make sure you're caught up when you need to be. And then the last thing in the folder is just that reading quiz. So again, remember 5 short answer questions, and you should get 5 out of 5 because you can use your book. Just gonna end by going back to the calendar here. I hope you're still watching, because this can be confusing if you're not watching this whole thing. Let's scroll down here just to review. Try not to get overwhelmed. It's nothing different than what we did when we had school. It's just obviously a little more challenging because I'm not there to answer questions or explain things in person. But again, you're gonna view this video that I'm almost done here. You're gonna view that presentation, which I just went through with you if you have any questions. You'll read pages 1 through 49 by the due date listed for your class hour, and then you'll add some pages to the reading guide. On Thursday or Friday then, depending on what hour you're in, you will take that quiz. You will start reading the next section of pages, which are due on the date listed, and you'll add some more notes to the reading guide. So super simple, right? Read pages, take quizzes when you need to, and stay up to date on your reading guide. If you have questions or concerns, let me know. Keep checking that grade because things will be changing a ton with your grade on Infinite Campus because all that stuff for the Tamos and Jerry essay will be entered. And just know that I'm thinking about you all and I miss you. If you have any jokes or funny stories or just anything you want to share with me, I'd love to hear it. Have a great week, and I will make another video soon to communicate with you all. Bye-bye.